In today's story, we begin with Detective Jack. He gets a call from his young niece, Ashley. She sounds upset. Once again, her father didn't come to pick her up from school, and this wasn't the first time. So Jack decides to pick her up himself. On the way back, they stop at a small diner and grab something to eat. Ashley's father, Garrett, is Jack's older brother. Years ago, Garrett got involved in drug smuggling. Over time, his life fell apart. Years of drug use damaged his mind, and now he's no longer the man he used to be. He barely looks after his family, and Ashley has been suffering because of it. Jack listens to Ashley and promises her he'll talk to her dad. He doesn't want her to grow up feeling abandoned. Jack has always been the one in the family who tries to hold things together. The next day, Jack gets another call from Ashley, but this time she sounds happy. She tells Jack excitedly that her dad bought her a brand new bicycle. She says it must have been because Jack spoke to him. She thanks Jack and calls him her favorite uncle because he's the only one who's always been there for her. Jack feels a little hope. Maybe his brother is finally turning things around. But that same evening, everything changes. Jack's phone rings again, and this time Ashley is screaming. She's terrified. She shouts that someone is killing her family. Jack's heart stops, and before he can say anything, the call cuts off. He tries to call her back again and again, but her phone is off. Panicked, Jack rushes to his brother's house. What he finds there is something he will never forget. The house is silent, broken, and inside, the sight is horrifying. Ashley, her mother, and Jack's brother Garrett are all dead. Their bodies are in terrible condition. The whole place looks like a nightmare. Even though Jack is a police detective and has seen many dark things in his career, this scene shakes him to his core. It's more brutal than anything he's ever seen before. Looking around the house, he finds a box hidden under Garrett's bed. Inside, there are large amounts of drugs. It looks like his brother might have lost control, maybe got high and killed everyone before taking his own life. But Jack refuses to believe that. His brother had been trying to clean up his life. He was getting better. He had just made his daughter happy. Why would he do something like this now? After Jack's call, the police arrive at the house. His partner, Bobby, tries to comfort him, but Jack feels like his entire world has fallen apart. He didn't have a family of his own, and now his brother's whole family was gone too. Ashley was especially close to Jack. She was like a daughter to him. Losing her broke something deep inside. After the funeral, Bobby stays with Jack, trying to take care of him. He tells Jack that the police believe Garrett, Jack's brother, was heavily addicted to drugs and killed his family while he was high. Bobby says Jack needs to accept it and try to move on. That evening, Jack is drinking alone, heartbroken. He's watching old videos of Ashley and the family, memories that now hurt more than comfort. But then something strange happens. Jack suddenly gets a call from Ashley's number. Before he can react, the call ends. Confused and shaken, Jack tries calling the number back, but now it says the phone is switched off. The next day, Jack goes to the police station and asks Bobby about the phone. He thinks the police must have taken Ashley's phone as evidence, but Bobby says they actually forgot to collect it from the crime scene. So Jack goes back to his brother's house to look for it. He finds Ashley's phone lying in the bathroom, but as he's holding the phone, it starts ringing again, with Ashley's name flashing on the screen. Jack freezes. He's holding her phone in his hand. It's off, and yet it's ringing. He slowly answers the call, and what he hears stuns him. It's Ashley's voice on the other end. She says, "Uncle, why are you acting like this?" Then the line cuts. Jack stands there in shock. He knows Ashley is gone. So who just called him? Just then, Bobby arrives with some food. Jack is clearly shaken, and Bobby can tell he's not doing well. Bobby tells him something else, something that makes Jack feel even worse. The department has removed Jack from the case. Since Garrett was Jack's brother, and he had a history of being arrested for drug smuggling, the team believes Garrett killed his family. So they think Jack can't stay objective and needs time to rest. They're telling him to take a few days off and stay home. That same evening, Jack gets another call from Ashley's number. This time, he picks up angrily and asks who's calling and where they're calling from. But the voice on the other end is clearly Ashley. She calmly says she's in her room. Confused and shaken, Jack rushes to Ashley's old room. As he listens, Ashley begins saying the exact same things she told him days ago, how her dad bought her a bicycle after Jack spoke to him. Hearing this, Jack starts to believe the impossible. He's talking to Ashley, but from a time before she died. Still unsure, Jack decides to test it. He tells Ashley to grab some paint and draw a big X on the wall near her. Ashley thinks it's a strange request, but she agrees and ends the call. Jack stands and waits. Nothing happens. After a while, he sighs and laughs at himself, thinking he's just imagining things. Maybe the grief is making him hear things that aren't real. But when he walks back inside, he freezes. The wall now has a big, fresh cross mark on it, one that wasn't there before. It appeared just like that, and now Jack knows for sure. He really is talking to Ashley in the past, and whatever she does in her time is changing things in his present. He gets another call from Ashley. This time, Jack calmly asks her what the date is today. Ashley replies, "It's June 25th. Jack feels his chest tighten. In his world, it's already June 29th. Ashley and her family were murdered on June 28th. That means Ashley is still alive in her time, and he has 2 days to change the future. If he acts fast, maybe he can save them." Ashley then tells him that her dad just came home with a man driving a white antique car. Jack immediately starts asking her questions. Has this man been around before? Is anyone else coming to the house lately? But Ashley says no. Everything has been normal. Her dad has been getting better. He's quitting drugs, staying clean, and spending more time with the family. While looking around the house, Jack finds a book with a sticker on it. On the sticker, there's a name written, Georgie. Curious, Jack calls Ashley again and asks if she knows anyone by that name. But Ashley says she's never heard of Georgie before. Now Jack is more certain than ever. This Georgie might be involved in what happened. And if he wants to stop Ashley's death, he has to act quickly. The next day, Jack goes to the police station to dig deeper into the case. But his boss, Howard, catches him and reminds him that he's not supposed to be working on it. Jack tells him that he's found new evidence and believes his brother Garrett didn't kill his family. He believes someone else did it and framed him. He also mentions the name Georgie, saying he might be behind it. Surprised, Howard admits that Georgie was once involved in drug smuggling with Garrett. The police even created a sketch of him after talking to people, but he's been missing ever since, and no one's been able to track him down. Howard says the police will continue the case, but Jack needs to stay away from it. So Jack goes home, but keeps working on his own. That evening, he talks to Bobby and tells him again that he doesn't believe Garrett could have murdered his own family. He feels someone else did it and set him up. Just then, Jack gets another call from past Ashley. She tells him she found Georgie's address in her dad's old diary. Jack tells her not to go near Georgie. He warns her that the Jack from her time, the past Jack, doesn't know anything yet, and she has to stay safe. Jack drives to the address Ashley gave him. When he gets there, the place is locked. It looks empty. But then, he notices several old-fashioned antique cars driving past the area. Suddenly, some of the people in those cars start shooting at him. Jack tries to run and get away. One of the bullets hits him, but he manages to escape and drives straight to the police station. When he walks in, bleeding and injured, everyone is shocked. They rush to call an ambulance. But Jack, still conscious, tells them to bring him the case files. He knows that in Ashley's timeline, it's June 27th, and that means tomorrow on the 28th, she and her family will be killed. Just then, he gets another call from past Ashley. With his strength fading, Jack tells her one last plan. He says, "Tell the police your dad still has drugs in the house. There's a box under his bed. If the police arrest him, maybe they can protect him too. Maybe no one will come to kill him." He gives Ashley Bobby's number and tells her to call him for help. Then right before he passes out from the pain, Jack whispers, "Call him, he'll help you." And with that, Jack loses consciousness, hoping his message reached her in time. Past Ashley suddenly shows up in front of present Jack and angrily asks why he told her on the phone to report her father to the police. But this version of Jack, the Jack in her time, has no idea what she's talking about. He hasn't spoken to her in 2 days. Confused, Jack tries to calm her down, but Ashley doesn't believe him and storms off, upset. She returns home where things seem better. Her father, Garrett, has given up drugs and is acting like his old self again. But then Ashley notices the same box under the bed, the one Jack told her about. Curious, she opens it and finds drugs inside. Now she understands why that strange call told her to report it, so she picks up the phone and calls 911. And with that single action, everything changes. In the future, Jack suddenly notices he's no longer injured. The gunshot wound he got earlier is gone. Something in the timeline has shifted. Excited, he rushes to his brother's house, hoping he made it in time to save everyone. But when he gets there, his heart sinks. The whole family is still dead. Only now, the murders happened a day earlier, on June 27th instead of June 28th. Somehow the past had changed, but not in the way Jack had hoped. Once again, the police blame Garrett, saying he killed everyone while on drugs. But something feels different to Jack. While investigating the crime scene, he finds a small detail that wasn't there before. Ashley's school bag is soaking wet. Trying to figure out what happened, Jack goes back to his brother's house to look for more clues. Meanwhile, in the past, Ashley is following one of the old antique cars she saw near her house. It leads her to an old factory, where she secretly sees a group of men surrounding her father. Afraid, she calls Jack. Future Jack picks up and immediately tells her to run and hide somewhere safe. But just as he says this, the call disconnects. Her phone battery dies. Thinking quickly, Ashley writes down the car's license plate number on a note and puts it in her bag before escaping. Back in the future, Jack finds that exact same car and asks Bobby to trace it, but he still doesn't have the key clue: Ashley's note. In the past, as Ashley runs away from the factory, someone spots her and begins chasing her. In the chaos, she drops her bag into a small lake or river, losing the note inside. Scared, she escapes and finds a nearby cafe where she charges her phone and calls Jack again. She tells him what happened: the men at the factory, the note, and how it fell in the water. Jack listens carefully and he realizes that if he wants to protect her, he has no choice left. He finally tells her the truth. He says, "Ashley, I'm not the Jack from your time. I'm calling you from a few days in the future. Something strange is happening, and when you call me, the call reaches me in my time." Ashley is shocked. She doesn't believe him. It sounds like a crazy story, so Jack tells her to prove it. He says, "You're sitting in a diner, right? Take a piece of chewing gum, any color, and stick it under the table." Ashley does it, and the moment she does, Jack tells her exactly what color it is. Ashley is stunned. There's no way he could have known. Jack explains that whatever she does in her time is changing his reality, and that's why he knows what's happening. Then he tells her something important. "You have to leave your house today. Go somewhere far. Find my friend Bobby and tell him everything. He'll help you." Ashley agrees to Jack's warning. She leaves the house and heads to the bus stop, planning to go somewhere far away. In the present, Jack is at the police station, searching through evidence. He finds Ashley's school bag, but the paper inside where she had written down the license plate number is now smudged and unreadable because the bag got soaked in water. That's when Jack starts putting the pieces together. He goes to Howard and Bobby and explains, "Ashley's bag fell into water when she was running from someone, but we found it inside her house during the murder investigation. That means someone must have taken it and planted it there to make it look like she never left, to make it seem like Garrett killed his whole family." Bobby and Howard exchange serious looks. Finally, they pull Jack aside and reveal the shocking truth. Georgie isn't just one person. It's the name of a secret group made up of corrupt police officers. They've been smuggling drugs using their badges to cover it up. Howard tells Jack that he's been secretly investigating his own department from the inside, trying to find out which officers are involved in the Georgie group. Jack is stunned, but it also starts to make sense now. Why the case felt wrong, why the evidence never added up. Meanwhile, in the past, Ashley has second thoughts. Instead of running away on her own, she decides to call Bobby for help, hoping he can reach her house in time to protect her parents too. Bobby answers and quickly agrees to pick her up and take her home. Now both timelines begin to run side by side. In the present, Howard tells Jack that they recently discovered something crucial. Garrett was approached by the Georgie group for another big drug deal, but Garrett refused. He had cleaned himself up and was focusing on his family, and that rejection likely sealed his fate. Jack listens, horrified. But just then, the car they're riding in comes to a stop. Howard turns to Jack, and suddenly, without warning, he shoots Howard dead. Jack stares in shock as the truth hits him. Bobby was the traitor all along. Bobby smirks and says coldly, "Yes, Jack, I killed your brother. I killed them all." Garrett backed out, and that made him a problem. And I don't let problems walk away. Back in the past, Ashley thinks she's doing the right thing by trusting Bobby. She lets him take her home, hoping he'll help. But as soon as they arrive, Bobby steps out of the car and pulls Ashley's wet bag from the back seat. Ashley's eyes widen. How could he have it? It was lost in the water. That's when the truth hits her. Bobby is Georgie's leader. Before she can react, Bobby calmly leads her and her family into the house. His voice is cold now. His plan is clear. Now in the future, Bobby points a gun at Jack and starts questioning him. He wants to know how Jack figured out that Ashley's bag had been outside and was later placed inside the house. Bobby's getting nervous. He thinks there must be someone helping Jack, someone who saw everything and could expose him. Jack finally admits the truth. He says he doesn't fully understand how, but somehow he's been able to talk to Ashley in the past. That's how he's been finding out what really happened. But Bobby doesn't believe him, because in his mind, Ashley is already dead. He killed her. Back in the past, Garrett begs Bobby to let his family go, but Bobby ignores him and shoots Garrett. Then he kills Garrett's wife, Susan, too. Ashley, terrified, runs upstairs and hides in her room. Bobby goes after her, but Ashley breaks the window, grabs her bicycle, and escapes out the back. Bobby chases her through the streets, but Ashley eventually finds a warehouse and hides inside. She's trapped, scared, and alone. In the present, Bobby demands Jack to tell him one last time, who is feeding him all this information? Who's the witness? Right then, Jack gets another call from Ashley. Bobby forces him to answer it on speaker. Together, they hear Ashley's voice from the past. She says she's hiding in a warehouse and that Bobby's outside trying to kill her. Jack tells her she has to be brave. If she doesn't survive, Bobby will kill him too, right here in the future. That makes Bobby furious. He shoots Jack again and tells him that he'll frame him for Howard's murder too. But in the past, Ashley does something unexpected. She remembers Jack's words and decides to go to present Jack's house to save both him and herself. Bobby follows her. As Ashley arrives, the present Jack looks out and sees Bobby coming toward the house with a gun. And at that moment, everything makes sense. Jack realizes Bobby is the killer. This time, before Bobby can hurt anyone else, Jack grabs a weapon and shoots Bobby, killing him. And in that exact moment, everything changes. The timeline resets. In this new reality, Jack had managed to save Ashley that night. Bobby is dead, and the future is no longer dark. With that, the story ends. If you enjoyed this time travel mystery, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Thank you for watching.